May I take this opportunity to introduce the report before I hand over the mic to Tomoyoshi Chiri for conducting the session. This report, The Global Economy of Pulses, has been in the making for 3 years. As my friend Chirajit likes to say, dal paki ya nahi paki, and it's been going on for a while. This report was the main research output of the International Year of Pulses in 1916, commissioned by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, by the Trade and Markets Division, where Boubacar and Doran were our key collaborators. The design of the book and production is thanks to our friend Hindu and Alpana and Neeraj. The research support for the book was provided by the Society for Social and Economic Research. The research team, of which many members are present here, comprised, besides myself, Jasim Pais, who's here, Prachi Bansal, who's here, Vaishali Bansal, who's here, Kanika Tyagi, who's here, Mandira, unfortunately, is not here, Anku is not here, Sonia is here. There are 4 background papers written for the book by Mandira, by Merit Clough, Smita, and Serikon. Why study economy of pulses? I just thought I'll take a few minutes and give you some introduction, some flavor of what the dals taste like. Why study economy of pulses? There are 3 main things that I would like to mention. The first is that pulses are nutritious grains. They're rich in proteins, they're high in minerals, they have high fiber content, low fat content, and higher consumption of pulses is associated with various kinds of health benefits. It's particularly important in our context where protein malnutrition is a major problem, and increasing consumption of pulses has many benefits to bear. The pulses have root nodules which absorb inert nitrogen from soil and convert it into biologically useful ammonia. This is a very special feature of pulses, which means that not only pulses do not need nitrogen, external application of nitrogen as fertilizers, they actually leave residual nitrogen for other crops. So growing pulses has benefits in terms of nitrogen fixation, which allows natural, biologically available nitrogen for other crops as well. There is another important feature, which is that pulses are self-pollinating crops. They are the plants which self-pollinate, which means that it's difficult using the conventional practices of breeding. It's difficult to produce new varieties and hybrids. This is one of the reasons why development of varieties has been slow in case of hybrids, apart from, of course, the fact that pulses account for a very small share of resources that have globally been deployed for agricultural research. But this also means that you don't have hybrids in pulses, which means that even when you have new cultivars, there are varieties which can be reused by farmers, which has meant that seed companies are not interested in producing seeds of pulses because they can't produce hybrids. So far, I mean, there are just a few hybrids that have been produced for tur, but by and large, for pulses, you don't have hybrids. This has had important implications because the research for pulses has been led by the public sector, because private sector is not really interested in investing in pulses. So this provides us an interesting case to look at where the public sector-led development of a sector does or does not take place. Now, if you look at the global sort of trends in production, you find that annual production of pulses increased quite significantly in the last 15 years. Last 15 years have seen annual growth of production of pulses increased by about 21 million tons between 2001 and 2014. This is a period in which export-oriented production has increased in many countries, in particular Canada, Australia, United States, Myanmar, and also some countries of sub-Saharan Africa. India has emerged as the largest producer, largest consumer, but also the largest importer of pulses. In fact, in some sense, India is the driver of the global economy of pulses. Countries like Australia, Canada, and Myanmar produce pulses primarily for the Indian market. So India is really at the center of this global economy. The report comprises of 10 chapters, of which there are 6 deal with specific pulses. There's one chapter which deals with production and trends and exports. There's one chapter which deals with consumption and nutritional benefits. There's a chapter that deals with value chains and markets, and there is a chapter that looks at the future prospects for pulses. So it's a report that actually sort of covers a very wide ground in terms of crops, because there are a large variety of crops. They are grown in different production environments, production conditions in different countries. In fact, the report looks at systems of productions in very large number of countries, looks at sub-national, provincial, state level variations, and looks at where in different countries pulses are grown, which pulses are grown, and what have been the specific policies that have driven growth of pulse production in different countries. In fact, so the report looks at a wide range of crops, a wide range of countries, and in fact a wide range of cropping systems, as you can see, with people carrying pulses on their heads and on donkeys and animals, to people using very high machinery in places like Canada and Australia. You have a very wide range of production conditions in which pulses are produced. The report looks at all of this. We have tried to mine whatever data we could get hold of using international data sources, but as also national data sources. And I'm really grateful to the team that worked hard for over a year trying to mine the material on pulses. I think finally the dal has been cooked, and we are here to serve it to you. I hope to hear from the panelists what they think about the report. Thank you.